Welcome to Invest Ed. Welcome guys sa Invest Ed, no? So ngayon ang pag-aaralan natin at re-reviewin natin company ay ang company na Manila Water Corporations, no? Or MWC. Okay, so sa pag-analyze ng stocks at pagre-review ng stocks, magkakaroon tayo ng matibay na pundasyon, no? Pasukin nating stocks or company, no? Kasi napaka-importante na bago tayo mag-invest sa gusto nating pasukan na company, dapat alam natin kung yung strength and weaknesses, matibay ba yung kanyang moat, maganda ba yung kanyang management, mababa lang ba yung kanyang utang. So yung mga titignan natin, no? And syempre dapat alam din natin yung kanyang intrinsic value or fair value. Kasi kung hindi natin alam kung ano yung fair value ng company at bibili lang tayo ng bibili, hindi siya value investing, no? So sabi nga ni Warren Buffett, no, na you have to buy in a discounted price. Okay? And most importantly, dapat naiintindihan mo kung ano yung business model ng company. Kasi kung hindi mo naiintindihan kung ano yung business model ng company, huwag ka na mag-invest, no? And sabi nga ni Warren Buffett din, no, you have to stay to your circle of competence. Okay? O sa lahat-lahat ng yan, pagsasama-sama natin sa isang video para makabuo tayo ng matibay na konklusyon at matibay na pundasyon sa pag-invest natin sa stock market. Okay? So kung ready na kayo, samahan nyo ako. Let's start and see you on the other side. Hello guys. So kung hindi pa kayo nakaka-subscribe, so please subscribe and hit the notification bell para updated kayo sa mga videos na parating at marami pa kayong matutunan sa channel na ito. So maraming salamat. This is PSE Warrior saying, trade well, trade strong, and trade smart. Okay, first yung company description muna ni Manila Water, no? So, Manila Water Company, okay, was incorporated on January 6, 1997 to provide water treatment, sewerage, and sanitation, distribution services, pipework, and management services to residential, commercial, and industrial customers. And Manila Water Corporation was joint venture among Ayala Corporation or AC, United Utilities, Pacific Holdings or BV, and Mitsubishi Corporation until it became a subsidiary of AC in 2010. And also, no, Manila Water holds the exclusive right to provide water and use water services to the East Zone of franchise area on the Metropolitan Waterworks and Sewerage System or MWSS pursuant to the concessions agreement between the company and Manila Water MWSS on February 21, 1997. And the East Zone Marikina, most part of Quezon City, portions of Manila, as well as the 14th town of Rizal provinces. And also, no, the company, three wholly owned subsidiaries, namely Manila Water Philippine Venture Incorporated, the holding company for all the Manila Water Corporation's domestic operations subsidiaries, including those who have bulk water supply deals in Clark, Cebu, Boracay, Davao, and among others, no? And second, yung kanilang Manila Water Asia Pacific, the holding company of Manila Water Corporation's international venture, which include Indonesia, Thailand, and Vietnam, based on affiliates and associates. And lastly, yung kanilang Manila Water Total Solutions Corporations, which handles after the matter product and services. Manila Water also own 90% of Calasiao Water Company Incorporated, no? So this is the company descriptions of Manila Water. So for more information about Manila Water, no, so panoorin muna natin tong short clip about sa kanila.
Incorporated, together with its subsidiaries, provides water treatment, water distribution, sewerage and sanitation services to residential, commercial, industrial, and semi-business customers in the Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, and internationally. It also offers pipelaying and integrated used water services, as well as sells purified water in selected areas in Metro Manila and bulk water in the province of Cebu. The company provides its services to approximately 6 million people in the 6 encompassing 23 cities and municipalities, including Makati, Mandaluyong, Pasig, Pateros, San Juan, Taguig, Marikina, Quezon City, and Manila, as well as various towns of Rizal. Manila Water Company, Incorporated was founded in 1997 and is based in Quezon City, the Philippines. Manila Water Company, Incorporated is a subsidiary of Ayala Corporation.
Okay, now nandito tayo sa Reuters.com, no? So nakikita natin dito yung kanilang financial statement, no? So, and nandito tayo sa income statement ngayon, no? Nakikita natin dito, no, annually tayo sa kanya, no? So, nakikita natin dito yung revenue niya for the past 5 years, no? From 2015 na meron siyang 16.9 billion revenue, and in 2019 na meron siyang 21.9 billion revenue. Okay? And kung titignan natin dito yung kanyang net income for the past 5 years, no? From 2015 na meron siyang net income na 5.9 billion pesos of net income, and in 2019 na meron siyang 5.4, no? 5.4 billion net income na lang. So nakita natin na bumababa yung kanyang net income. Okay, so nakita natin na bumababa yung kanyang net income. Bumababa yung kanyang net income. So ngayon titignan natin dito yung kanyang current ratio na in 2019. So ano nangyari sa kanyang current ratio? Okay, so now kukunin natin yung kanyang total current assets, no? Para makuha yung ating current ratio. Okay? Okay, so ito yung kanyang total current asset. And i-divide natin siya sa ating total current liabilities in 2019, which is ito, no? Total current liabilities. Okay? So, in 2019, meron siyang current ratio na 0.65. So, nakikita natin, no, na below siya sa 1. So, nakikita natin in terms of liquidity position sa kanya in 2019 na mababa, no? Kasi ang gusto natin makita is above 1 yung kanyang current ratio, no? So, mababa. So, ang ibig sabihin nito, kayang bayaran ng company yung kanyang current liabilities gamit yung kanyang current assets ng 0.65 times ng kanyang assets. Okay, so ngayon mababa yung kanyang liquidity, no, sa kanya. Kita natin na mababa yung kanyang liquidity ngayon, no? Kita natin is annually, hindi pa dito sakop kasi yung pandemic, no? So titignan natin dito in a quarterly data kung ano nangyari sa kanyang net income, no? Kasi gusto natin makita kung i-dissect natin, no, kung ano yung mga nangyari sa kanya in quarterly. Okay? So ngayon pumunta tayo sa income statement ni Manila Water. Click natin yung tab na quarterly para makita natin yung data niya in quarterly basis. So nakikita natin dito yung kanyang revenue over the past quarter and present quarter, no. Nakita natin dito in second quarter of 2020, merong revenue si Manila Water na 5.3 billion comparing to the first quarter of 2020 na merong 5.5 billion revenue. And comparing to the second quarter of 2020 and 2019, no, yung 2019 nila, second quarter of 2019, merong 5.4 billion revenue, and meron na lang sila ngayon na 5.3 billion revenue, no? So nakita natin na medyo bumaba yung kanilang revenue. Okay? So ngayon titignan naman natin dito sa kanila yung net income, kung ano nangyari, no? So nakikita natin dito yung kanilang net income comparing to the first quarter of 2020 and second quarter of 2020. Nakikita natin na first quarter of 2020 merong net income siya na 1.4 billion pesos, and now meron na lang 1 billion net income, no? And comparing to the second quarter of 2019 na merong 1.6 billion net income. So nakikita natin talagang bumaba yung kanilang net income, no? Ngayon, alamin natin to, no, kung bakit bumaba. Ano yung mga kadahilanan bakit bumaba yung net income nila ngayon in second quarter. Okay? Kasi guys, kung ipapakita ko lang sa inyo tong data na net income at hindi natin alam at hindi natin dinadissect kung bakit bumababa, ano yung mga nag-contribute sa kanila kung bakit bumaba yung net income, hindi ito sapat. Okay guys? Okay, so bago tayo magsimula, no, courtesy of this data sa COL, no, sa nakuha natin ito sa kanila, no. So ngayon, nakita natin dito na yung pinaka-big contribution ng kanilang revenue ay ang East Zone na mayroong revenue na 14.6 billion revenue. And susunod sa kanila ay ang Outside East Zone na mayroong 1.8 billion revenue. And susunod yung 1.2 billion revenue, yung others income, no? Okay? So nakuha nating data, no? Sabi dito sa data na nakalap natin, Manila Water Corporation second quarter of 2020 earnings drop or down by 2.5% to 1.2 billion, mainly due to the losses from non-East Zone businesses. Okay? Partially offset by the profit from the East Zone business. This brought a first half of earnings to 2.5 billion, okay, pesos of earnings. So this is the result summary of Manila Water. Nakikita natin dito yung kanilang revenue, no? Nakita natin comparing to the second quarter of 2019 and 2020, down by 2.3%, okay, from 2019 na mayroong 5.4 billion and now mayroon lang 5.3 billion, okay? And and comparing to the first half of 2019 and first half of 2020, up by 3%, no, yung kanilang revenue. Comparing to the first half of 2019 na mayroong 10.5 billion and now meron silang first half of 2020 na mayroong 10.8 billion revenues, okay, in first half of 2020, which is good, no? Okay, nakita din natin dito yung net profit margin ni Manila Water for the second quarter of 2019 comparing to the second quarter of 2020, no? Na mayroong 22.5% net profit margin siya noong 2019, and now in second quarter of 2020 mayroong 22.4% of net profit margin, okay? And comparing to the first half of 2019 and 2020 na mayroong 23.4 in 2019 and 2020 na mayroong 22.8. So nakikita natin na bumaba yung kanilang net profit margin ng kaunti lang naman, no? Okay? So, kung titignan din natin dito yung kanilang current net income, okay? In second quarter of 2020 and second quarter of 2019, nakikita natin down by 26.1%, no? Yung kanilang current net income. And comparing to the first half of 2019 and 2020, down by 18.5%. Okay? This is the earnings segment summary, no? Nakikita natin dito, sa East Zone nila, up sila by 32.6%, okay, earnings. And sa Manila Water Philippine Venture, nakikita natin na down sila by 144.2%. Sa Manila Water Asia Pacific, down by 319%. And sa Conso Adjustment, up by 71.4%. Okay guys? Comparing to the first half of 2019 and 2020, East Zone up by 52%, Manila Water Philippines down by 168.6%, and Manila Water Asia Pacific down by 267%, and sa Conso Adjustment up by 433.3%. Okay? Sabi sa report, no, East Zone current net income down by 13% on higher cost and expenses. Okay? And East Zone second quarter of 2020, net income go from 32.6% to 1.4 billion, mainly due to the low base registered in second quarter of 2019. Excluding costs related to the supply shortage last year, no, the current net income actually dropped 13% from 1.6 billion to 1.4 billion. Okay? So the decline in earnings was brought about by higher cost of water treatment, chemicals used for the Cardona water treatment plant, and power related to the utilizations of deep wells. And Manila Water Philippine Venture, the second quarter of 2020 net loss reached 57 million pesos, a reversal from the 129 million pesos net income posted in the same period last year. The net loss was brought about by the weak performance of Estate Water and Boracay Water and higher provision for probable losses. Note that Estate Water posted an 86 million loss due to a 96% decline in supervision fees and higher bulk water and tank carrying expenses. Likewise, Boracay Water to a net loss of 21 million pesos as bailed volume dropped by 33% due to lack of tourists because of travel restrictions. Okay? And this is the net income contribution from domestic subsidiaries, no? So nakita natin dito yung kanilang net income sa Boracay Water down by 161% comparing to the second quarter of 2019 and 2020. While the Clark Water down by 66.7%, Laguna Water up by 0.9%, the Estate Water down by 192.5%. Okay? And comparing to the first half of 2019 and 2020, the Boracay Water down by 110, the Clark Water down by 19.2, the Laguna Water up by 21%, and the Estate Water down by 148.4%. Okay? So ito yung mga nag-contribute sa revenue and kung bakit bumaba yung sales ng ni Manila Water and bumaba yung kanilang net income. Okay guys? Okay, so welcome sa market performance ni Manila Water. So nakikita natin dito for the past 7 days, nag-return si Manila Water ng 0.6 while the utilities na kinabibilangan niya or industries na kinabibilangan niya down by 1.7% and the Philippine market for the past 7 days down by 0.4%. So in terms of 1-year return, nakikita natin dito na Manila Water Corporation down by 35.8% compared to their industries na down by 10% and the market down by 25.0% or 25%, no? So in respect to a company return versus industries, Manila Water underperformed the industries which returned a 10.8% over the past year. Okay? And also in market, no, company versus market, Manila Water underperformed the Philippine market which returned a 25.8% or down by 25.8% over the past year. Okay? And in respect to price to earnings ratio ni Manila Water Corporations, no, meron siyang PE ratio na 6.2 while the industry's average ay meron 13.5 and market same lang ng industries niya na meron 13.5, no? So nakikita natin dito in terms of company PE ratio to versus to industries, no, na kinabibilangan niya, Manila Water is a good value based on its PE ratio compared to the industries, no, na mayroong 13.5. Okay? And also in respect to company PE ratio versus market, nakikita natin dito na Manila Water Corporation is a good value based on its PE ratio compared to the Philippine market. Okay? Also in respect to PE ratio alone, no, sinasabi dito na more undervalue yung company na to versus sa industries and market. Okay guys? And in respect to price to earnings growth ratio ni Manila Water, nakikita natin dito na Manila Water or MWC PEG ratio ay mayroong 0.5, no? So, PEG ratio, Manila Water PEG ratio is good value based on its PEG ratio na mayroong 0.5. So, bakit natin nasabi na good value based itong PEG ratio ni Manila Water ngayon? Kasi gusto nating makita no, sa PEG ratio na ina-analyze natin na less than 1 yung kanyang PEG ratio. So, ang ibig sabihin nun, it is undervalued in terms of PEG ratio alone. So, kapag tumaas ng 1 yung kanyang PEG ratio, it is considered a a overvalue in terms of price to earnings growth ratio or PEG ratio, no? Okay? So kaya natin nasabi na it is considered a undervalue in terms of PEG ratio. And also no, in price to book ratio ni Manila Water, na nakikita natin dito na yung company merong price to book ratio na 0.6, while the industries na kinabibilangan ni Manila Water merong 1.2 and the market no merong 1. So in terms of price to book ratio versus the industries no na kinabibilangan niya, Manila Water is good value based on its price to book ratio compared to the industries na kinabibilangan niya. Okay? So ang meaning lang nito, most are in terms of price to book ratio alone, mas undervalue yung company compared sa average industries. Okay? Okay guys, so in terms of future growth ni Manila Water, nakikita natin dito na so in terms of future growth ni Manila Water, nakahanap tayo ng in terms of future growth ni Manila Water, nakakita tayo ng estimates of 5 analysts based on 1 to 3 years estimate nila na mayroong forecast annual earnings growth na 11.6%, no? Okay? So, yung kanila naman forecasted in the end of 2020, no, December 31, 2020, yung kanilang forecasted, no? Yung kanilang forecasted na nakita natin dito based on 5 analysts. So, merong forecasted na revenue aabot ng 22.93 billion pesos per year, and yung kanyang earnings naman based on 4 analysts na nakita natin na aabot ng estimate ng 4 analysts ay aabot ng 6 billion pesos per year. And yung kanyang free cash flow no ni Manila Water ay aabot ng 787.5 million pesos per year, and based on 2 analysts. Okay guys, so this is the future forecast of Manila Water. And also sa analyst future growth forecast no. So in terms of forecast annual earnings growth no, yung company ay mayroong earnings growth forecasted na 11.6%, while the industries na kinabibilangan niya ay merong 11.2%, no? And the Philippine market ay merong 27 and yung market merong 27.6, okay? So in terms of forecast annual revenue growth, so nakitang annual earnings growth ng the future annual earnings growth ng mga analysts, nakikita nila na merong 6.1% yung kanilang forecasted, and yung kanilang industries na kinabibilang merong 8.4%, and the market merong 11.9%. Okay? Okay, so in terms of earnings versus savings rate, no, nakikita natin dito, check tayo dyan kasi nakikita natin na Manila Water forecast earning growth is above the savings rate na 5.1 lang. Okay, so ibig sabihin nun, kapag yung forecasted ng mga analyst ay mababa sa 5.1, yung savings rate ng natin, mababa sa savings rate natin, no? Di sa band ka na lang mag-invest, no? So, yung savings rate pala, it is a rate of band natin, no? Okay? So, kaya natin nasabi na check, kaya check to, no? Kasi mas mataas siya kaysa sa ating savings rate. Okay? So, in terms of earnings versus market, no? Red flag tayo sa kanya because Manila Water earnings are forecasted to grow slower than the Philippine market kasi yung kanyang forecasted ay 27.5%, while the earnings of Manila Water, yung earnings ni Manila Water forecasted ay merong 11.6 per year. Okay? And in terms of high growth earnings, red flag tayo sa kanya because Manila Water earnings are forecasted to grow but not significantly. Okay guys? And in terms of revenue versus market, red flag din tayo sa kanya because Manila Water revenue is forecasted to grow slower than the Philippine market. Okay? And in terms of high growth revenue, red flag din also tayo sa kanya because Manila Water revenue is forecasted to grow slower than 20% per year. Okay guys? And also, no, this is the future return on equity ni Manila Water, no? So, nakikita natin dito yung kanyang future ROE in next 3 years forecasted, okay? Ay merong 11%, which is good. And yung kanyang industries na kinabibilangan niya ay meron lang 9.3% forecasted, no? So, in terms of future ROE, natin sa kanya, no, Manila Water return on equity is forecasted to be low in 3 years time, no? Na merong 11%. Okay, so in terms of this, no, 11% is a good, is nasa average siya, no? But ang gusto kasi natin tiniknan dito, no, is 20%, no? Para masabi natin it is a high ROE. Okay, guys? And this is the past performance of Manila Water, no, over the past 5 years. So historically, annual earnings growth ni Manila Water, nakikita natin dito na meron siyang down by 0.9%, no, in 5 years na yung kanyang earnings growth. So from 2015, no, nakikita natin dito na yung kanyang revenue ay umaabot ng 16.58 billion and yung kanyang earnings ay merong 5.7 billion and meron siyang profit margin na 34.3 profit margin percent. Okay? And free cash flow na merong 4.4 billion pesos. And cash from operation ay merong 4.7 billion. And operating expense na merong 956.45 million pesos. Okay? Okay, now in 2020, nakikita natin dito na in June 30, 2020, yung kanilang revenue ay merong 22.18 billion pesos and earnings nila ay merong 5.5 billion pesos and meron na lang silang profit margin na 24.8% profit margin, no? And yung kanyang free cash flow nakita natin down by a 2.7 billion pesos and cash from operations na down by 859 down by 859.9 million pesos and operating expense na 2.1 billion pesos. Okay? Okay, so in terms of high quality earnings sa kanya, no, check tayo sa kanya because Manila Water has high quality of earnings. But in terms of growing profit margin, nasa red flag tayo sa kanya kasi Manila Water current net profit margin ay merong 24.8% are lower than last year na meron 26.6%. Okay guys? So in respect to past earnings growth analysis natin sa kanya, no, over the past 5 years annual earnings growth, yung company merong return na negative 0.9% while the industries na kinabibilangan niya merong return na 8% average and sa market merong 8% din, no? So in last year return, no, nakikita natin dito yung kanilang last 1 year earnings growth, nakikita natin na merong 1.5% ang company while the industries na kinabibilangan niya merong 3.6% and ang market down by 10.2%. Okay guys? Also in respect to earnings trend, red flag tayo sa kanya because Manila Water earnings have declined by 0.9 per year over the past 5 years. So in terms of accelerating growth naman sa kanya, nasa green zone tayo sa kanya or nasa green zone, no, green flag tayo sa kanya because Manila Water earnings growth over the past 5 years or over the past year exceed its 5-year average na negative 0.9 per year. Okay? Improving na siya, no, from average 5 years na negative 0.9% per year and compared to last year na meron ng 1.5%. Okay guys? So in terms of earnings versus industries, no, nasa red flag tayo sa kanya because Manila Water earnings growth over the past year underperformed the industries na kinabibilangan niya. Okay? So from industries average na meron 3.6% while the growth of last year ni Manila Water ay meron lang 1.5%. Okay guys? Okay guys, so now this is the return on equity ni Manila Water, no? Nakikita natin dito yung kanilang return on equity. Ngayon, mayroong 9.7 while the industries na kinabibilangan niya ay mayroong 9.3. Okay? So, in terms of high ROE ni Manila Water, nasa red flag tayo sa kanya because Manila Water return on equity ay mayroong 9.7 is considered low, no? Kasi gusto natin makita in average 10% and more, no? Sa kanya. Okay? But still, in terms of industries and market, no? But still in terms of or comparing to company and industries, mas mataas pa rin siya kaysa sa industries in terms of ROE or return on equity, no? So, sa mga hindi nakakaalam po ng return on equity, measurement of management, no? Kung gaano kagaling yung management to handle others people's money, no? Produce a profit from their businesses. Okay, guys? And also, this is the return on asset, no, ni Manila Water. Nakikita natin dito na meron siyang 4.9 return on asset and the industries na kinabibilangan niya is meron lang 4.7. So, mas maganda kasi mas mataas pa rin yung kanyang return on asset kaysa sa industries niya, no? So, ano ibig sabihin nitong return on assets, no? So, ang ibig sabihin nito, ito yung kita niya compare sa kanyang ari-arian. Okay, guys? So, yun lang yung return on assets, no? And on capital employed, nakikita natin dito na Manila Water, no? Last year, meron siyang return on capital employed na 8.6%, while in 3 years ago, meron siyang 10.2%, no? Nakikita natin na bumaba siya, no? Okay? In terms of financial health ni Manila Water, nakikita natin dito na sa kanyang short-term assets, meron siyang 26.8 billion pesos, while yung kanyang short-term liabilities ay merong 30.08 no billion pesos. So in terms of short-term, no, nakikita natin na so mas malaki yung kanyang short-term liabilities kaysa sa short-term assets. So medyo titignan natin to, no. Ito yung babantayan natin sa kanya, no, yung kanyang short-term liabilities, no. So meaning itong short-term assets, ito yung kanyang assets o yung kanyang ari-arian na kaya niyang i-convert into cash within a year. Okay? And ito naman yung obligations ng company na binabayaran or obligations ng company within a year. Okay? And long-term liabilities, ito naman yung assets na kaya i-convert into cash more than a year. And ito naman yung long-term liabilities, obligations ng company more than a year. Okay? So nakikita naman natin dito sa long-term nila, sa long-term asset, na nakikita na meron silang 122 billion assets, and meron silang long-term liabilities na 60.37 billion pesos. Okay guys? Also in terms of short-term liabilities, nasa red flag tayo sa kanya because Manila Water short-term assets do not cover its short-term liabilities, okay, na mayroong 30.1 billion pesos. While sa long-term liabilities also, red flag din tayo sa kanya because Manila Water short-term assets do not cover its long-term liabilities na mayroong 60.4 billion pesos. Okay guys? And okay, this is the debt to equity history ni Manila Water, no. Nakikita natin dito na from 2013 na meron siyang debt to equity ratio na 93.2% debt to equity, and now no in 2020 meron siyang debt to equity ratio na 116.3% debt to equity ratio, no. So sobrang laki ng kanyang increase of debt to equity ratio over the years, no. So ano ibig sabihin nitong debt to equity ratio, no? So, ang ibig lang sabihin nito, at every 1 peso na ginagamit ni Manila Water through its operations, no, 116.3% nun ay financed by utang. So, sobrang laki ng kanyang pina-finance galing sa utang, no? Slide tayo dyan kasi sobrang laki ng kanyang debt to equity ratio. Okay, guys? Okay? So, in terms of debt level sa kanya, red flag tayo sa kanya because Manila Water debt to equity ratio ay merong 116.3% is considered high. Okay? So, bakit natin nasabing high ito, no? Yung kanyang debt to equity ratio. Kasi gusto natin makita 40% pababa lang yung kanyang debt to equity ratio. O yung company na ina-analyze natin ay 40% pababa lang. It is considered a low debt to equity ratio, no? So, in terms of this, no, na sobrang laki sa kanya. And also, no, in respect to reducing of debt, nasa red flag din tayo sa kanya because Manila Water debt to equity ratio has increased from 65% to 116.3 over the past 5 years. Okay? So nakikita natin na sa kanila sa graph na talagang increasing yung kanilang debt to equity ratio. Okay? And also in terms of debt coverage sa kanya, no, Manila Water operating cash flow is a negative. Therefore, debt is not well covered. Yung napasin naman natin sa kanya, no, in terms of interest coverage sa kanya, nasa green zone naman tayo sa kanya or green flag naman tayo sa kanya because Manila Water interest payment on its debt are well covered by EBIT of 5.7 times coverage. Okay, guys? And also, this is the balance sheet snapshot of Manila Water, no? Okay? Kasi in terms of dividend in Manila Water, no, nakikita natin dito na yung kanilang forecast dividend yield ay mayroong 4.86%, no? Forecasted dividend yield. Kasi in terms of dividend yield versus the market na nakikita natin dito, yung kanyang current dividend yield ngayon ay 0. So wala silang binibigay ngayon na dividend, no? And versus sa kanyang market, no? Market bottom 25%, merong average na 1.6%, while the market top 25% ay merong 4.7%, no? So in terms of notable dividend, red flag tayo sa kanya because unable to evaluate, no, Manila Water dividend yield against the bottom 25% of dividend payers as the company has not reported any recent payouts. Okay? And with respect to high dividend, no, nasa red flag din tayo sa kanya because unable to evaluate also Manila Water dividend yield against the top 25% of dividend payers as the company has not reported any recent payouts. Also, no? Kasi nakita natin na hindi pa sila talaga nagbibigay ng dividendo ngayon. Okay, guys? Okay, and this is the stability growth payments of Manila Water, no? Nakikita natin from 2019, okay, so from 2009, no, nakita natin na meron siyang dividend yield na 2.6% and dividend per share na 0.4 and in February 20, no, meron siyang dividend yield na 7.7% and dividend pay per share ay merong 0.9%. Okay, guys? Also from February to September 15, 2020, no, wala pa silang binibigyan ng dividendo, no? Okay? So, ayun, ito yung nakita natin din, no, sa kanya. And okay, so dito sa leadership yun, nakikita natin dito, yung kanilang president ngayon ay si Jose Rene Gregory Almendras na merong tenure na 1.08 years and compensation na 1.28 million and meron siyang ownership sa company na 0.00021%. So in terms of experience management, no, Manila Water management team is not considered experienced because yung kanilang average ngayon ng kanilang tenure, no, ay merong 1.3 years, no. So nakikita natin na sobrang baba na kanyang average ngayon and yung kanilang average age is merong 56 years old, no. So ang nakikita kasi natin dito, no, pag less than 2 years yung kanilang average tenure, no, average ay medyo masasabi natin na less experience pa ngayon ang mga namumuno, no, sa company na to, no. And in terms of board member, no, ni Manila Water, nakikita natin dito na yung kanilang board members, okay? Nakita natin dito yung kanilang compensation and yung kanilang average tenure age sa company, and yung kanilang ownership no sa company. In terms of experienced board member, nasa green zone tayo sa kanya because Manila Water Corporation Board of Directors are considered experienced na merong 8.9 years average tenure, no? And meron silang 67 years old average age. Okay guys? So in terms of this, no, talagang yung kanilang Board of Directors ay mga experience na. Okay? Okay, this is the ownership breakdown ni Manila Water, no? Nakikita natin dito 35.7% owned by public companies and 31.2% owned by general public, 17.5% owned by private company, and 13.4% owned by institution, 1.5% owned by individual insiders, and 0.7% owned by employee share. Okay? So in terms of dilution of share, check tayo dyan, no? Because shareholders have not been meaningfully diluted in the past year. Okay? So, ang meaning nito, no? Ang meaning ng dilution of shares, sa mga hindi pa nakakalam, dilution of shares kapag nag-issue ng new shares o nag-raise ng shares yung company, bumababa yung ownership of shareholders. Okay? So, bumababa yung ownership of shareholders. Okay, also this is the top shareholders of Manila Water Corporation, no? Nakikita natin dito na 35.72% owned by Ayala Corporation and nagkakahalaga ng 12.2 billion pesos, and susunod si Water Holding Company Incorporated na merong 16.48% and nagkakahalaga ng 5.6 billion pesos. Okay guys? Okay? And this is the rest of top shareholders. Okay, so alam na natin, no, kung ano meron sa company, and alam na natin kung ano yung financial position niya ngayon, no. So ngayon, alamin naman natin sa kanya kung ano yung intrinsic value ni Manila Water ngayon. Okay? So para makuha yon, kailangan natin ng future or forecasted earnings or net income ni Manila Water, and syempre, yung average PE ratio niya for the past 5 years. So first, kailangan muna natin kunin yung kanyang forecasted earnings ng mga analyst, no, in 2020. Okay? So first, yung nakuha nating data, no, nakuha nating data, yung kanilang forecasted net income or net profit ni Manila Water ay umaabot ang forecasted nila ay 5.9 billion pesos forecasted of 2020. Okay, so yung isa nating panakuha, no, yung forecasted net income niya in 2020 ay umaabot ng forecasted net income ay nasa 6.2 billion pesos. And yung isa pa nating nakuhang informations, no, based on 5 analysts, merong 6 billion net income forecasted. So yung pinakamababa sa tatlo na forecasted net income, itong nakuha natin, no, na umaabot ng 5.9 billion pesos. So ito yung ating kukunin na forecasted net income, kasi gusto natin na maging conservative tayo sa makakuha nating intrinsic value ng company. Ay alam na natin, no, kung ano yung forecasted net income ni Manila Water for 2020. So ang gagawin natin, kailangan natin kunin yung average PE ratio niya for the past 5 years. Okay guys, so nandito tayo ngayon sa BPI trade, no, para kunin yung kanyang price to earnings ratio or PE ratio for the past 5 years. Okay? So ito siya, no. So i-average natin tong PE ratio niya for the past 5 years. Okay? Okay, so yung kanyang average PE ratio for the past 5 years ay umaabot ng 9.766 or 9.77, no? So, ang gagawin natin, okay, so ito na yung ating, okay guys, so nakuha na natin yung ating price PE ratio niya for the past 5 years, no? Average PE ratio. So, ang gagawin natin, ita-times na natin yung ating nakuhang PE ratio times sa ating estimate, net income estimate, no? Para makuha natin yung ating future market capitalizations ni Manila Water. Okay? Okay guys, so times lang natin siya sa ating nakuhang net income forecasted. Okay, ito. Okay guys, so nakuha na natin yung ating future market capitalizations kay Manila Water. So ngayon, kukunin na natin yung current market cap ni Manila Water, no? Okay? Now, so nandito tayo sa Reuters.com, no? Para makuha yung kanyang market capitalizations or yung current market cap niya ngayon. So meron siyang market cap na 40.3 billion pesos market cap. Okay? So kukunin natin muna to. Okay? And i-divide natin siya doon sa ating nakuhang future market cap. Okay? Para makuha natin yung intrinsic value ni Manila Water. Okay, guys? So, yung nakuha natin, no, ito ay mayroong 0.69, no? So, ang gagawin natin, itong 0.69, i-divide natin siya dito sa ating nakuha, yung ating current price ni Manila Water na 14.02, na time na ina-analyze natin siya, divide sa ating 0.69 para makuha natin yung intrinsic value ni Manila Water. Okay? Kasi na-input na natin siya, no, yung kanyang current price, and divide natin siya sa 0.69. So, yung kanyang current intrinsic value ngayon, yung intrinsic value ngayon ni Manila Water ay umaabot ng 20.31 or 20.32, no? Okay, so around here, no, yung kanyang intrinsic value, no, kung titignan natin na andito siya. Okay? Okay guys, so alam na natin, no, kung ano yung intrinsic value ni Manila Water ngayon. Okay guys, so ngayon magkakaroon tayo ng margin of safety, no, or buffer sa ating intrinsic value, no. So gagawin natin para makakuha tayo ng margin of safety sa kanya, kailangan lang natin siya i-time sa 0.80 or 20% margin of safety sa kanya or buffer, no, natin sa kanya. Okay? It really depends on you, no, guys, kung ano yung gusto nyong margin of safety para sa kanya. Is up to you, no, kung 50%, 30%, or 20%. Okay? So now, meron siyang 16.25, no, yung kanyang margin of safety natin sa kanya. Meaning, kapag bumaba dito yung presyo ni Manila Water, no, sa 16.25, okay, ibig sabihin nun, it is considered a buy ratings alone in terms of intrinsic value, no, in terms of intrinsic value alone. Okay, so in summary na intrinsic value ni Manila Water, no, so okay, so nakikita natin dito yung kanyang intrinsic value ay nasa 20.32, while the margin of safety natin sa kanya is nasa 16.25, no. Again, kapag bumaba yung current price niya sa ating margin of safety, it is considered a buy ratings alone, no. Again, ulitin ko, buy ratings alone in terms of intrinsic value alone. Okay? So, kaya natin nagkakaroon tayo ng margin of safety, no, para magkaroon tayo ng discounted price doon sa ating fair value. Okay, guys? So now, yung kanyang current price ay nasa 14.02 nang tayo na nag-a-analyze tayo sa kanya. Okay? So, meron tayong upside potential sa kanya na 31%. Okay? In terms of intrinsic value alone, no? Pag na-hit niya tong ating 20.32 na target or na ating fair value, no? Okay, guys? Okay, so in summary ng ating pag-analyze din sa kanya, no? Yung nakita nating red zone sa kanya, no? That is not well covered by operating cash flow, and yung nakita nating green zone naman sa kanya, no, the company is currently profitable, earnings are forecasted to grow by an average of 11.6% per year for the next 3 years, share price had been stable over the past 3 months, the company earnings are high quality, no, and profit margin decreased but not substantially, and they have sufficient analyst coverage, no concerning event detected. Shareholders have not been meaningfully diluted in the past years or recently, no? And yung kanyang revenue is meaningful, market cap is meaningful. Okay? So ito yung ito yung ating summary ng pag-aaral at pag-a-analyze sa company na to. Itong Manila Water, no? Okay? So sana may natutunan kayo sa video na to, no? At meron kayong napulot na kaalaman. So guys, hanggang dito lang muna yung ating pag-aaral, pagre-review sa company na to, no? And syempre, napaka-importante bago tayo pumasok sa company na gusto nating investan ng ating pinaghirapang pera, dapat tinitignan muna natin, no, kung ano yung strength and weaknesses, kasi magkakaroon tayo ng matibay na pundasyon sa company na gusto nating pasukan. Okay? And syempre, alam natin kung ano yung intrinsic value ng company. Kasi kahit gaano kaganda yung business, kapag bumili ka sa sobra ang presyo o high price, it is a worthless investment. Syempre, dun tayo sa sale, di ba? Sabi nga ni Warren Buffett, price is what you pay, value is what you get. Okay? And syempre, dapat naiintindihan natin no, kung ano yung business model ng company. And kasi napaka-importante na alam natin, no, na naiintindihan natin yung company. Kasi kung hindi mo naiintindihan yung company, huwag ka na mag-invest. Kasi hindi mo maintindihan yung business model nila, kung ano yung kinocontribute nila sa ekonomiya. So, doon pala, huwag ka na mag-invest kung hindi mo na naiintindihan. Sabi nga ulit ni Warren Buffett na stay to your circle of competence. Okay? So hopefully guys, may natutunan kayo sa video na to, no? And maraming salamat sa inyo guys, as always, sa suporta. And asahan nyo na marami pang videos na kagaya nito yung parating. And lagi nyo tatandaan guys, invest wisely, and see you on the other side. Hello guys, maraming salamat sa panonood. Sana marami kayo natutunan sa video na to. So kung hindi pa kayo nakaka-subscribe, so please subscribe and hit the notification bell para updated kayo sa mga videos na parating at marami pa kayong matutunan sa channel na ito. So, maraming salamat. This is PSE Warrior saying, trade well, trade strong, and trade smart.